Hello everybody, it's Anna here again today, and today we are back at the Great Orme in Llandudno, but we're going to be doing the 9-kilometre and 5-mile walk around Marine Drive all the way around the Great Orme from Happy Valley to the West Shore, and we're on a little bit of a history tour. So come along and join us, you're very, very welcome. Don't forget welcome in Welsh is croeso. So here we are at what they call the toll road, so you have to pay. I'm not quite sure how much it is for a car, but it's about £3 I think, but we walked, so yes, you can Google it if you need to know the price. So we're starting here now, and behind us you can see Llandudno up here, and there is Happy Valley. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be telling you that we have 6 points of interest along this walk all the way around. It's about a 3.5 hour walk from start to finish, and there is a halfway cafe which we did stop at and have a coffee like we normally do. There's Alf, look there. But there's 6 points of interest and they will be in the description box, and what I will do is as we get to them I will put a number and I will tell you what it is. So it might not correspond to what I'm telling you about the sites, but you'll know what they are when you see them, if that's okay. The 6 historic sites that we're going to be looking at, I'll start by telling you, one is St Tudno's church. Now, we're not going to be showing that because we have a full video of that which was just before this one. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look at that 6th century site of the church that was established by St Tudno and is still a worshipping church today. So, but it does come up in a little while on the left, and I'll point that out on the screen with a number and I'll write it down. But it is just up on this rocky ledge on the left. What was beautiful yesterday, look at this, can you see the seals and the pups in the water? We were fascinating and we were just gripped watching them. So it is a coast that has the seals and the pups, and it's a place that a lot of people come along just to sit or stand and watch them. They are adorable. I'll mention now that the Great Orme is thought to be between 300 and 350 million years old, and it's a large limestone headland on the north coast of Wales called the Creidyn Peninsula, and there is a similar smaller headland called the Little Orme on the eastern side. The Great Orme is a nature reserve with special areas of conservation, a lovely heritage coast and a country park, and it has a rich flora, and during spring and summer the cliffs are carpeted with beautiful colourful flowers, and it is an SSSI, that's a site of special scientific interest and a heritage coast, and also known to be the site of many UFO, that's unidentified flying objects, sightings over the years since the 90s, I think the 1990s. So here we are now, look at this sign. This is the part where I was telling you that you can actually go up there and look to the summit up to St Tudno's church, and also the Great Orme mines. If you're interested, we have a video of that as well, and back on our channel a few months ago I think it was. So let's continue along now and I'll tell you what comes up next. This is a place where lots and lots of sheep graze, and also the famous Kashmiri goats. Now the goats that roam the Great Orme, they're famous. They came from a breeding pair gifted by Shah of Persia to Queen Victoria for her coronation in 1837. Now, it's very funny because we could not find them this day, but we do find them in the most bizarre of places near the end of the video. So that is really very funny where we found them. And so the wild Kashmiri goats of the Great Orme, the ones that you might have seen on national news in lockdown, they actually escaped from the Great Orme and they went into town, into people's gardens looking for food, and they roamed the streets of the town looking for food. because there was no people around, so they were enjoying the freedom of Llandudno. So that was really funny. So that's point 6 on the history walk. But anyway, let's continue. This is point 2 of our history walk, and it's the lighthouse, built in 1862 by the Mersey Docks and Harbour Company, and it was the highest on the coast of Wales, but it's now a bed and breakfast guest house. There it is, look, on the cliff edge there, and this is the way into it. That's beautiful. And just further up from there is the halfway cafe that Alf is walking towards. It's called the Rest and Be Thankful Cafe, and so that's just a bit further up from the lighthouse, which is just behind us here. So yes, there's Alf heading up to the cafe, and that's the back view, and here we are at the cafe. There's the bus that takes people around the Orme, the vintage bus. I'm not sure how much that costs, but again, you can Google it if you're interested in doing a bus tour around the Great Orme along Marine Drive. If you're interested or believe in aliens and UFOs, then you will be interested in knowing that the Great Orme holds the 3rd spot in the top 10 UK hotspots where you can be abducted by aliens, apparently. The Great Orme seriously has been the subject of intense extraterrestrial activity since 1997, and there is actually an area in the summit complex up at the top which houses stuff related to aliens and UFOs. So that's just up there at the top. If you're interested, it's worth looking and reading about it, because it is quite fascinating that many people have said they've seen sightings in this area of unidentified flying objects. So again, look more into it if you're interested. But we are now at point 3 on the history tour, and it's, well, you can see it, Mare as well. In Welsh, that's Ffynnon Gaseg, and this is one of the scarce natural water sources on the Great Orme. This fountain was actually constructed by the road builders to provide water for the horses, hence its name, that pulled the coaches laden with visitors in the days before motor cars, or in the days before the vintage bus that you can take around here. So that's Mare as well. So we're carrying on now towards the West Shore, and if you look over there, you can actually see in the distance Ynys Môn, that's the island of Anglesey, and you can also see Puffin Island. It's a really, really beautiful walk. It's one of our favourite walks, this one. And we're just going to be heading down now, and still we're looking down there at we can still see some sheep, I think. We haven't seen any seals this end, they were more further back behind us. Coming up soon on the right is point 4 on our history walk, and it's the remains of the Royal Artillery Coastal Gunnery School that moved to Llandudno in 1940. Early in the Second World War, basically the government decided that with the threat of invasion and bombing, the Royal Artillery's Coastal Gunnery School should be moved from Essex to somewhere safer, and after much searching of the west coast of Britain, officials chose an area of the Great Orme here at the end of Llys Drive, and this site was considered ideal both for its location and its wide estuary mouth, which provided anchorage for target vessels, and it's just down here. There we are down there. And it provided training for about 700 men at one particular point in time. You'll see arrows on the screen if I can really get a close-up of the place that I'm talking about. But my main favourite part of this history walk is something that we're going to be coming up to very, very soon, and it's to do with that naughty King Edward I of England. But before that, there we are. Look, there's the exact location, and in just a bit you'll see there's Alf. Then you'll see the tour bus that you can actually go on, but here is the location. It's all down there, the location of the Royal Artillery School, and such a fascinating area. Oh, there's myself, look, overlooking the beautiful West Shore. Look, there it is. You can see a very, very clear view of the Royal Artillery School there. Now, can you see those houses down there? That is what they used to call, we've lost it, I'm just circling. Further down there to the right is what we used to call Millionaires Row, and Cliff Richard actually had a holiday home here. I'm not sure when it was, I think it was around about the 1980s, but look, there's part of the school again there, we've just passed it. But anyway, we're going to continue down. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about, there's Millionaires Row again, tell you a little bit more about my favourite historic spot on this tour. So here we are, look at the white building, but look at the ruins in the ground of the white building. Sadly, I've got no other footage. I must have lost it. I don't know what happened. But what I'm going to do, we'll carry on looking. You can freeze that if you want to, and we'll carry on looking at it, and we'll then continue down Marine Drive onto the West Shore Beach as I tell you a little bit about this. Those ruins are the surviving ruins of a palace of the Bishop of Bangor, Bishop Arian, built on land given to him by naughty King Edward I in 1284, following the baptism by the Bishop of the first Prince of Wales. And the palace then was burnt down by Owain Glyndwr, who we love, in about 1405, and although it remained the property of the Bishops of Bangor, it was not rebuilt, and gradually many of the remains fell into the sea through coastal erosion. Anyway, so we're coming back down now onto the West Shore Beach, and we're going to be looking for point 6, which are the Kashmir goats. Now, I told you they were in a very, very funny place. Before we come to them, we're coming to the end of our video now. We come and we see the ruins there of Alice in Wonderland, Alice Little, the real Alice Little's house. And look, they are at the church where Alice Little used to worship with her family. They are the Kashmiri goats of the Great Orme, and we found them in the church down in the town of Llandudno. So funny. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for today at the Great Orme Marine Drive walk, and we'll say ta-ta for now, and we'll see you on the next adventure or the next Welsh lesson. Don't forget to keep practicing your Welsh, because practice makes perfect. Ta-ta for now. Nos da.